Welcome to the SRC. Every week we bring you students-related activities that interest the nation and everybody. Today we are going to talk to the leadership of the unemployed nurses in the country. Every now and then they go on demonstration against the government for not being placed in the various health institutions. Why are they not being placed? We are yet to find out. We're going to talk to the leadership of these associations. We are going for a quick break. When we come back, I'll talk to them and you also get to know what is happening. Welcome back from the break. I have here with me in the studio to look at this issue, Batia Semi Ula Santi. He is the national president of the Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association, Ghana. And Biletmia Moses Liman, he is the deputy organizer of the coalition of 2016 Unemployed Public Nurses and Midwives, Ghana. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to talk to us on this issue. Batia, which of the nursing training institutions did you attend?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity given. I am a product of Nursing Training College, Laura, in the Upper West region.
Laura in the Upper West region?
Yes, please.
If you completed in which year?
2016.
2016?
Yes, please.
You are the national president of the, you said the Nurse Midwife Trainees Association?
Yes, of course. I'm the national president of Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association.
How many are you? Your association, how many are you in number?
Okay, our association is made up of an estimated figure of 68,000 membership. That is 68,000. And the association stands for trainee nurses and unemployed graduates.
So right now, 68,000 of your members are watching you?
Yes, 68,000 of them are on campus and 27,000 at home unemployed. So if you add the 68,000 to the 27,000, that's almost about 80,000 membership.
So you are the president of those still in school and
exactly.
Out of school?
Yeah, to be employed.
To be employed.
Exactly.
And you are leading over 80,000 people.
Exactly.
Wow, that's interesting. Let me come to you. Moses, Liman, I like your name. Yeah. Which of the schools did you attend?
Well, I'm also a product of TEPA, Nursing Training College, Ashanti region.
TEPA Nursing Training College,
yes,
Ashanti region.
Yes.
And you are the deputy organizer for the 2016 Unemployed Nurses and Midwives in Ghana.
Yes. Please.
How many are you?
Well, we are many. For the 2016 alone, I think we are close to 2,000. We are close to 2,000.
You are close to 2,000?
Yes,
just
please.
for 2016?
Just for 2016.
That's huge.
Yes.
All right, let me start with you. I like your name, Ula Santi. Ula, we've seen you demonstrate over the years that government has not placed you. Why has it taken you?
Thank you very much. As nurses and midwives in this country, we have actually been trained to serve a purpose. And if you look at the standard of our training, we are people who undergo training to acquire skills to save lives. And after training, nursing we know is very practical and a continuous process, where when we complete and we get our license from the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and after 1 year national service, that is to a diploma program nurse, you do 1 year national service, then right after the national service, you need to be engaged. And we have another cadre, that is the auxiliaries, the health assistant and community nurses. They are certificate nurses, they don't do national service. So the moment you also pass your nursing license and exams, that is the examination conducted by the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and you pass, you are given an auxiliary identification number. So the moment you receive your auxiliary identification number, you are due to practice. So as we talk now, we have 14,254 health assistant and community nurses of 2016 year group, and we have 7,230 bonded nurses of diploma 2016 year group. We have 5,380 verified degree and private trained nurses, all due for employment, constituting a total figure of 26,864 graduate nurses due employment. So all this group of people are supposed to be employed, and as leadership of the association, we believe in the philosophy of dialogue. So as we believe in using the dialogue approach, we decided to engage relevant stakeholders and offices that matter in our employment. First of all, we're privileged to have met with the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Oyededonkwa Akufo-Addo.
You mean you met Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo?
Exactly.
Wow.
We met him, that was on 27th of August 2017. And when we met with the president, key among the issues tabled before him was the issue of graduate nurses' employment. And we're so glad the president welcomed this appeal we made and made it clear to our hearing that the Minister of Health should respond to our plea. And the response of the minister was that they have exhausted the 2017 budget, and hopefully, the moment the 2018 budget is read, allocations will be made for the recruitment of 2016 graduate nurses and midwives. And we think this actually came to the light of day when the first quarter budget was read, and it was clearly stated that 32,000 health graduates will be employed within the year 2018. And out of these 32,000, 27,000 will be nurses and midwives. So once our people were being budgeted for, we're so much optimistic that by now we'll be in the facilities working. Because within the Ministry of Health calendar months of recruitment, we have 2 openings or windows. That is February, March for the auxiliary, that is the health assistant and community nurses. Then June, July for the diplomat, that is those who do national service. But here lies the case, we are in September. After engaging relevant stakeholders, they keep on giving us unpalatable chronic reassurances with timelines which are not binding, based on the fact that we're duly informed that in the month of March, the health assistant and community nurses will be employed.
That was March this year.
Yes, this statement was made on the 20th of February by Honorable Tina Mensah, the Deputy Minister of Health, that go back home, by the end of March, your clearance will be released for you to start work. The same 20th February, the then Minister of Information, Honorable Mustafa Hamid, in a press conference organized at the Jubilee House, reiterated that 27,000 nurses and midwives have been budgeted for and hence will be recruited within the shortest possible time.
That was in February.
In February.
And in the March, the Deputy Minister also added...
The Deputy Minister made her statement on the 20th of February, indicating that March, the clearance will come.
Okay.
But lo and behold, March came, clearance never came to the light of day. The Honorable Minister of Health, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, on 25th of June, also stated that by middle of July, our nurses will be budgeted for...
You seem to be on top of issues.
Exactly.
You know all the dates and
day
events.
in and out, I'm always at the ministry. The Ministry of Health is like my living room. I believe
fighting
in dialogue.
For your 80,000 members.
Exactly. I believe in dialogue. So I first of all approach them. Before I come out to the media, I'm always sure I've done my works right by engaging who is necessary in solving my problems. And that is why I keep on going there every day. But the surprising aspect is that I dialogue with them, but they turn a deaf ear to my plea. And when I come to agitate, they see me to be someone who is trying to always, sometimes they classify me as a hooligan. But I believe as a young man growing, we believe that the future of this country lies in our hands. And there's the need for us to fight for our liberation.
The future of this country lies in your hand and you need to fight for liberation.
Yes.
Moses, do you think the nursing profession is being over-politicized?
Well, I may say yes. Yes, in a sense that over the years, nurses go through training, and after completion of their training, then they get their immediate employment. But recently, that is just looking at 2016 up to now, no single need nurses have been employed within the health sector to work. And these are nurses who have gone through training and have acquired knowledge. Even we wrote the licensing exams, and by the grace of God, we came out successfully, meaning duly qualified and yet to practice, then opportunity have been denied.
What is the bonding issue? I've heard that you guys are bonded as nurses by the government. What is it about?
You see, the bond have to do with, like, let me say, when you come to the campus, or when you get your admission and then you've been offered the opportunity to begin your training, then you sign a bond, and the bond is an agreement between you and the government. Since you are, what they call it, a public trained nurse or midwife, Then, so what happened is, when you sign the agreement, then this government is entitled to pay what we refer to as allowances. So after the allowances, then maybe after completion of your training, you have to serve government for 3 consecutive years before you can further your education or you decide to quit the nursing job. So this is what the bond has to do with the nurses.
So you are bonded by government from us at now. You've not been employed by government.
Yes.
Can't you move on to another private institution then continue practicing your nursing?
We could have done that, but looking at the job vacancies, it is not easy. And you know, we are in this country, day in, day out. Graduate youths are fighting very seriously just to get employment, and it is not easy. We've tried several places, and we are not getting vacancy at the places. So that is the reason why we are still pushing. And then once we have been trained by the public sector, I think the government have exhorted by using the taxpayers' money to at least train us. So where should you use the taxpayers' money to train me, maybe after completion of school, instead of you to offer me the needed job to go and render the services to the good people of this country, and they are not ready.
But don't you think it is because of lack of hospital facilities or enough hospitals or clinics in the country? That is why your placements are not being done?
We have a lot of chiefs compounds, health sectors, and the teaching hospitals that you can mention of. And even when you look at the previous government, they did very well by building a lot of health facilities. In fact, I wouldn't be able to mention all, but what I know of, I don't think it's less than even 30.
Does it mean there are clinics, health centers, cheap compounds, which have vacancies, yet the government is not ready to post you people to go and serve?
Exactly. When we talk about facilities, we've got a lot of facilities that actually need the workforce. Because right now, our nurse to patient ratio is 1:22. This tells you that already the facilities that we even have, the staff there are few. Even with the facilities that are old in the system, aside the new ones that were built, we're still even lacking nurses to augment the nurse to patient ratio. So facilities for nurses to fit in shouldn't be the problem here. But the fact of the matter is that the writing is not being done.
What is that writing which is not being done?
See, I believe in the philosophy of being realistic to citizens. Because why I say the writing is not being done is that the nursing or health sector in general has been over-politicized over the years. Why am I saying this? The health of every Ghanaian should be the #1 priority of the government, because without good health, productivity automatically dwindles. But here lies the case that we see people go to facilities, they say no bed. Why are we not having beds? All because it is not being prioritized as what? A sector. So it is the problem at hand has to do with prioritization and the need for government to actually take it as a matter of importance. Why am I saying this? My brother rightly stated, we are bonded nurses in the system. Pay the bond, it is an agreement between you and the government. Should you complete, government is entitled to employ you because state subventions have been used to train you. And at the end of the day, you come out after using state subventions to train a nurse, the person is expected to render quality healthcare to citizens. Here now lies the case, you have used the state resources to invest in the person to acquire the skills, and you allow the person to sit at home with the skills becoming stale or decaying. Are we moving forward? Are these policies being productive? All because it is not prioritized. So the matter is prioritization.
Prioritization. So
yes.
how deep is it having a toll on your members?
Now, pardon me to make this analysis or comparison. As a policeman or a military man, when you undergo your training, you are trained to operate the weapon. And should a soldier or a policeman complete training and comes out, and the person is not duly engaged, obviously we know the person will surely make good use of the gun. Here lies the case, we are people who have been trained to render healthcare to people. Now that I've acquired the skills, and you are not giving me the opportunity to operate, people are losing lives day in and out, and we don't know some of the rationales behind.
People are losing lives how?
Day in and out.
Which people?
Citizens of this country are losing lives day in and out. And there is a particular rationale behind which many people are not much aware. Now, as an unemployed nurse, If I am home, I have nothing doing, then a colleague comes to approach. I know you to be a nurse. Sorry for me to say, my lady is pregnant, and I just need a help. I also tell you that I'm not going to do it for you for free, because I've acquired the skills and I need to also get something for hand
so
to man.
So it means your members are now
Some have to do all
undertaking
things.
private activities on
Exactly.
their own in their communities.
Yes,
People
because
go
the
to
person
them.
have to get use of the skills he has attained.
Are you saying this for a fact?
I'm saying it for a fact.
That
based on
the
fact that
unemployed nurses in the house are going out there taking services on their own,
Exactly.
to their homes, to their rooms, and administering medication and co.
some are doing it because they've acquired skills and they have to also do and get something out of it. And unfortunately, you are not having the needed logistics.
No, I want this to be clear to the viewer.
It is this is a fact.
Put that clearly. What I am trying to understand is you have over 80,000 unemployed.
We have over 80,000 membership, and out of the over 80,000, 27,000 are unemployed, and 68,000 on campus undergoing training.
So they are yet to complete.
Exactly.
So it means all the unemployed nurses, some of them are undertaking illegal practices. Are you serious?
I'm serious, because they have to make good use of the
And
skills.
do you encourage it to continue?
I don't encourage it. That is why I am making this pronouncement clear, that certain things are happening, but we are not getting the rationale behind. You see, if someone should go to the hospital for abortion to be done, the charge might be high. If I can offer you 50 Ghana cedis and do it for you, at the end of the day, I might do it, but the needed logistics for me to do it might not be available. And there might be a repercussion on the patient or the client. There are other prescriptions that I will do, which ideally should not be the basis.
Yeah, because they need to survive.
They need to survive, so everything they have to do, they must do. Secondly, the other effect it has on us is that you go to a private facility to apply for a job, they wouldn't pick you because you are a public trained nurse. And obviously, the statement is that if we employ you today and your clearance comes, you are leaving. So we also want people who will stay with us for a longer period of time, not short. So these are effects on us. The second aspect is that if I have completed 2016, I'm still at home, not practicing.
You've completed 2016?
2016. Now, should I be employed? I've sat for 2 years. Ideally, it's like I've lost almost more than 50% of what I've attained as skills. If I get back to the world, there's going to be an adverse effect on what clients, because automatically I'll lose some skills, because nursing is a continuous process. So at the end of the day, these people we have trained, when you employ them, they are going back to learn in the world. And this wouldn't help us. It wouldn't help. So at the end of the day, it's going to have an effect on citizens. Citizens will come to the hospital expecting quality health care. But the nurses that are going to render skills to them are not going to be competent as they would have been if they were employed immediately, with their skills being fresh.
So you are trying to say that if government finally gives the clearance, the possibility of incompetence coming in because of not using or practicing for long is high.
It's high. It's
so lives at risk then.
Yes. So we believe that this thing should be brought to a stop. When nurses complete, engage them immediately.
All right, when nurses complete, engage them immediately. He says if government gives clearance and they go back to their wards, incompetence is likely to occur because of the number of years they have not practiced. Don't go anywhere. We are going for a break. When we come back, we'll continue from there. Welcome back from the break. If you have just tuned in, we are on the SRC. We are talking to the leadership of Ghana Nurse Midwives Trainees Association, their national president, and the deputy organizer for the 2016 Unemployed Nurse and Midwives Association of Ghana. If you're an organization and you want to sponsor this program, please you can contact us on the number that is displayed on your screen, or you can call us on 0242 368295. 0242 368295. Before we went for the break, you were talking about the risk patients are exposed to if government finally clears you to go to the ward. How can this be prevented if you go back to the ward so that lives are not lost?
Thank you very much. I think at the facility level, there is an approach that the regular staff or senior colleagues do put in as a remedy to keep these menace in a way, which we have as rotation. When you go in as, let me say, we those currently at home, even though we are done with service, ideally with the service, that should have been the rotation. When you finish the service, 2 months, you start work. But once you finish and you sit at home for 2 years, if you go back, the senior staffs will have to put you on rotation from one ward to the other. This is the only remedy that can be put in place at the facility level. But the ideal solution to this problem is when graduate nurses complete school and they are done with the national service, let's go by the Ministry of Health calendar month of recruitment. June, July, you get your employment. You finish service in April, May, they work on your clearance. June, you start work. With that, it shows that after your service, you have just rest for 1 month. Then you start with your normal duties. With that, there is no gap. If you are a health assistant nurse or a community nurse, you write in November, February, your results come, you are being given your licenses, you start work in March. With that, we will not have any contact hours being lost. And that is the only solution to it. Let's put a stop to the idea of complaining bitterly that there are backlogs. No one is responsible for the backlog. It is this government.
This government? Or
the government that rules the country at every level. Actual administration was the cause of backlog. The current government...
You mean the John Dramani Mahama-led administration is the cause of this?
Every government...
Are you blaming the previous NDC government for this backlog?
I'm blaming both governments. Previous and current are the reasons behind this, because if we don't over-politicize issues of recruitment...
How did all this start?
You see, all these things happened as a result of we not practicalizing the policies that we always bring on board.
No, I mean, how did it happen that there's so much backlog? You said from 2016.
You see, ideally, the backlog issue would have been addressed completely when this government came into power. The actual administration, before they left power, they cleared 8,000 plus health assistant and community nurses of 2015 year group. And this clearance...
In which year did this backlog thing start?
That is what I'm saying. It's 2016.
It started in 2016?
Yes. Why I am saying it started in 2016 is the rationale I'm bringing on board.
Okay.
That the actual administration cleared 8,000 plus health assistant and community nurses of 2015 year group. And this was duly signed by the then Finance Minister, Sef Tekpe. And this was prior to the election. So when the MPP government won and they came in, the Health Minister, Honorable Kweku Adjumamenu, stated that they want to go through and take off ghost names. So they sat on the clearance that was released in 2016, October, November, and sat on it up to March 2017 before they were now cleared. And these points were being scored by MPP that they cleared 8,000 health assistant nurses. Then in the month of June, they came out with a clearance of 7,500 and something for diploma nurses of 2015 year group, adding it to make it 15,000, being a point for the government of the day that they cleared 15,000 nurses. So ideally,
that is a fact. They've cleared 15,000.
Yes. So now, ideally, after the 15,000, that was all. There was no backlog again. It was just the 2016 graduates that were left. So it was clear that within 2016 and 2018, the first quarter, the 2016 graduates too should be cleared. But here lies the case. We are still there. Our juniors of 2017 have come to join. Just tomorrow, our juniors of 2018 are completing. And I'm making 2 backlogs to come and add to with the 2016 batch.
What reason did government give for not clearing you till now?
Well, I think the reason is they always complain about...
No, not what you think.
Yeah.
What is the reason for which government says they've not cleared you for employment by now? Have they told you anything? Have they given... There should be a reason why the government has not cleared you by now.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we had several engagements with them. But what they told us is we should be patient enough. They are still working out for things, and then they will employ us soon. And as it stands, the soon is a long something that we cannot...
Political language.
Exactly. They will tell you maybe next month, just as my brother indicated, next month will come, you will not hear anything. Another month will come and elapse too, you will not hear anything. So I can't really even Imagine what they are trying to tell us. Almost all the time, they are giving us chronic reassurances or promises, and it doesn't yield any positive results. So this is a worry situation at hand.
So the government has not given you any specific reason why you've not been cleared to work?
To me, there's no specific reason. The reason is they are just complaining that at least they knew very well that we completed, and they're still working out to clear us. And if you are still working out to clear us since 2017 up to now, you have not cleared us. So what are you telling us now? And the fact is also that when we do demonstration, then they come out and tell us that next month we'll clear you. Next month will come to, they will not clear you.
So why do you keep demonstrating then?
We have to, that is the only means to arrest their attention.
But after you arrest their attention, your problem still exists. It doesn't get solved. Why do you keep demonstrating?
We have to. I think this is the only means or channel in which we have to do.
Are you just demonstrating to satisfy your members that you are doing something when you know the demonstrations will get no result? Because if I remember, you've done so many demonstrations based on this, and you are still home.
Yes, it's true. Just as you said, you know, anytime we demonstrate, we call on the media. The media is the only peace map for our issue. So when they come in and then they hammer more about this our issue, it they attract the attention of the government and then the general public as well. And you see, a concerned citizens will come out and be talking more about this our issue.
But it has been long since, let me come to, since 2016, these demonstrations have been going on. You don't get placed. Why do you keep demonstrating? Is there no other approach?
The rationale is that behavior is learned and what can be unlearned. We have learned to be what people who should always demonstrate for our concerns to be addressed based on the approach of the ministry.
But our leaders have taken demonstration as normal. Leave them, they'll demonstrate. And that is what you're experiencing. You are demonstrating. Nothing is happening. And I'm asking, are you not just demonstrating to satisfy your over 80,000 membership or members that you are on top of issues?
No. I think, as I stated from the scratch, we believe in dialogue approach. We have dialogued many times. If I want to say the number of times we have demonstrated, it's not up to 1/4 of the number of times we dialogue.
But the dialogue is not yielding results.
It's not yielding anything.
Demonstration is also not yielding results.
So we are now going by dialogue and demonstration concurrently.
And they are not yielding results. So what next? What next? You should have a new strategy.
I have the belief that my demonstrations have got an impact. It is yielding result. Because the fact that you keep on making statements, that shows that I have the legal right to be engaged. You are gradually exposing yourself. You have the legal right, yes, but your noises, your agitations, your demonstrations, your dialogues are not yielding results to the benefit of your members. They are still home. Yes, we are still home. And we believe that we are gaining something. That is my belief.
What have you gained so far from these demonstrations?
What I've gained so far is that I've been able to get the grounds clear that I have the right to be employed.
That is a fact.
It's a fact.
You don't need to demonstrate to get that established.
You see, we need to do that based on the fact that the government of the day tries to become smart. Permit me to say being smart. Based on the fact that if you come out with a policy which is not in line or in tandem with our demands, obviously, and we think that keeping quiet will have an adverse effect on us, we need to cry loud. We know very well that there are policies that are not real, but communicators keep branding them.
Which mention some of these policies that are not real,
right now,
that the government is pushing on you.
The idea of asking nurses to enroll on Nation Builders School policy.
The NAPCO.
Yes, it's a policy which it is not actually in line with what our model
we'll come to that one.
So we came out boldly.
We will come to the NAPCO issue,
yes,
specifically to look at it in detail. But don't you think we are overproducing nurses for the nation? That is why the backlog is there.
Okay, thank you very much. For the aspect of overproduction of nurses, I'll still say Ghana have not got enough nurses. The fact of the matter is that we have many unemployed nurses at home, but few nurses within the facilities. This shows that the number of nurses at home need to augment the nurse-to-patient ratio. But the fact of the matter is because they are not duly engaged. Because if today we even want to export nurses out of Ghana, Ghana will be at a deficit of nurses. So we are still lacking nurses as our nurse-to-patient ratio stands at 1:22. And at the end of the day, what we believe is that the government still even need more nurses. But the fact of the matter is that we need to control mushrooming of nursing institutions in this country. Why am I saying mushrooming of nursing training institutions? There are some institutions that don't even get accreditation, but at the end of the day produce people and they come out, and once your school is not accredited, you undergo the training, but you are not being licensed.
Do you know some of these schools?
You see, I will not actually mention any college here for now.
But you know the colleges that are...
We know some that have been closed down by the council last year.
And you know some that are still there?
Some are still in existence.
Can you mention one?
But I can't mention a name now because at the end of the day, whether updates have been made to now get themselves being accredited, I can't tell. And once it is an institution, if I come out to make such pronouncement, it will be like, on what grounds or evidence am I having at this material moment? That is why I wouldn't mention. But these are realities. If you want to know schools that are accredited, if you log into the Nurse and Midwifery portal or their website, you get all the accredited institutions. So someone can go through the accredited institutions and juxtapose that with some of the institutions we have outside society here. If you don't see the name of the institutions as part of the accredited list, you get to know that such an institution is a mushroom institution. They do exist. So at the end of the day, when these institutions produce, you see the numbers that these are nurses, but ideally they have not met the standard toward practice. Also, we are lacking the idea of basing on quota system. I think last year this issue of quota was implemented, but not to its expectation.
What is the purpose of the quota system?
Yes, the purpose of the quota system is to get the actual number of nurses that the government should be able to recruit at a particular time, and a total number of nurses that can actually fit into the institution's facility or standards, so that they can undergo training very well and come out as competent and fully baked nurses, not have baked nurses in the country. Why am I saying the facility standards? If let's say you look at Nalerigo Nursing Training College, Nalerigo Nursing Training College graduates almost 1,000 nurses every year. And these 1,000 nurses, if you want to divide to some of the nursing training colleges, 5 schools might not even be able to produce 1,000 nurses within a year. But one institution produced 1,000 nurses at a go. This shows that this institution, ideally, if you want to juxtapose the standard of a student from Nalerigo and another student from, let me say, Confornoche, and you want to look at the standards, if you are a student of Nalerigo and let's say you are not serious, you don't put in extra efforts, you are not going to become a good nurse because the facilities are not up for all of you to get your hands to practice on them. So at the end of the day, it put much pressure on these students to use diverse means and ways to learn. So if we are actually able to go by the quota system and we get the total number of students meeting with the requirements that we have at the facility level, nursing being practical, everybody will be able to have the hands to touch the necessary and practical items and become used to them.
Is it a good initiative?
This is a good initiative that actually needs to be implemented. The quota system needs to be implemented strictly. When the quota system is there, the end result is that if we're able to recruit 5,000 people for admission, we know that in 3 years' time, these 5,000 people will be engaged and provision should be made for them. So we support the idea of quota system to be implemented to its peak. It will help us address the issue of unemployment. It will help us get the nurses being fully baked because you get access to the laboratory and the items there to practice very well. This is a solution to the problem as well.
This is a solution to the problem. Moses, you are planning to embark on another demonstration.
Yes, please.
Now, after this demonstration, and the government still doesn't clear you, what next?
In fact, I think the next line of action will be that we have made it clear when we release the press statement. We have indicated inside the press statement that after this demonstration, if government actually did not come or did not respond to our grievances, then we'll do a 1 million walk at the Jubilee House.
You do what?
1 million walk.
You heard it on the SRC. They say after this demonstration and the government of the Republic of Ghana doesn't respond, they are going to organize 1 million members. Is that it?
Exactly so.
1 million. But you're not up to 1 million.
We are not up.
So how do you get 1 million people
our
to
parents
walk?
will be part, and we are calling concerned citizens. We are calling the senior staff nurses who are already working to join us so that we demonstrate. And they are ready to come out.
Well, government, you can hear it on the SRC. They are planning to march to the Jubilee House. 1 million Ghanaians are going to march in support of the unemployed nurses. Is that true?
Very well.
How far have you gone in arranging this?
Okay, with the idea of 1 million work, we believe that with this demonstration we have, it is a decision that the government will have to make, be it openly or what, in a silent manner. The open approach will be coming out to solve the problem. The silent approach is being a dead goat. If they are quiet,
being a what?
A dead goat.
A dead goat.
Yes, if they are quiet, it signifies that they are unconcerned about the health of Ghanaians in general. And every Ghanaian should know that his or her health is at stake and not a priority to the government of the day, not something or an issue that is affecting unemployed graduates. If they are quiet, it signifies that parents are making empty investment in terms of education that is within the nursing sector. It shows that if we have 68,000 trainee nurses on campus, these 68,000 are all having parents, that is father and mother. Then they have family members. We have concerned citizens in this country who believe in justice, fighting for what? Relatives. Now, we also believe that we have other groups that are ready to advocate for what? Jobs for the youth. And all of them will be coming together with us. We have already interacted with some influential people in society who are also ready to lead us in this solidarity march through the principal streets of Accra. So the numbers wouldn't be a worry at all. Getting the 1 million people to walk through the principal streets of Accra, if after tomorrow's demonstration yields nothing or
all right,
no
let me cut you
positive
there. 1 million number is nothing to them. They are going to get it to walk to the Jubilee House to speak to the president. We'll be back after the break and the discussion continues. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back from the break. We are still on the SRC and we are talking to the national leadership of the unemployed nurses and midwives in Ghana. And before we went for the break, they said they are ready to work to organize 1 million Ghanaians to walk to the presidency to press home their demands to be employed once they have completed their national service. Please, if you want to sponsor this program, kindly contact us through the number that is displayed on the screen or 0242 368295, and we'll be very glad to do business with you. Now we are back from the break. Before he went for the break, he was talking about the 1 million that they said they've spoken to influential people who are ready to help them do this march. Are you sure you're lying?
I'm not lying. This is just the real facts, and I must be honest to you that we have already done our homework. And we are sure that after tomorrow's demonstration, if nothing yields better, then we are going straight to the 1 million walk at the Jubilee House. Yes, please. Yes.
Now let's come back to the nurses training allowance. Yes. We know the previous government had, abolished it, cancelled it, and they tried to introduce loan system.
Yes.
Now the current government restored it. How far is it being paid?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I'm not in school right now, but information reaching us now is they are not paying their allowances to the nurses who are undergoing through training right now. And it is just a worry to them because these nurses are same people that was promised by the government that at least vote me, after voting I will restore your allowances. And you know, we are not working. Once you are going through training, you get that small allowances and you accumulate it and you pay your school fees. You use some to even buy your handout. You understand? So, and with the 2016 batch, some of us, we actually did not benefit even a single payment of allowance. And actually in the history of nursing, we happens to be the first batch that did not get the allowances. And then they promised us that at least once we vote them, they will restore the allowances, we'll get it, we'll even get our immediate employment. You see, so after completion, they came and told us that we cannot get the allowances again. So what we'll do is they will only compensate us by giving us the immediate employment. And as it stands right now, we haven't gotten any employment.
Is it true? You're not getting the allowance? Are people not getting the allowance?
Okay. Thank you very much. On issues of allowance, I think I'm always advocating for my members, that is the students. And the fact of the matter is that the allowance was paid to trainee nurses and midwives in the month of March. That was for 3 months, January, February, March.
Which year?
2018. January, February, March was paid, and from March up to now, no student have been paid allowance again. And last week, we had the ministry asking to know when the students will be paid again. The fact of the matter is that payment is now coming in installments, 3 months basis. And these 3 months too will even, the 3 months will elapse. As we talk today, we are in September. So after the students receiving March, April, May, June, July, August, September, that is 6 months.
So 6 months is in arrears?
Yes, 6 months is in arrears. And out of our engagement, they said they are going to pay them for April, May, June. They will pay them 3 months. So this, they said, would have been made available by the end of the month. But we are within the first week of September. And as we went there last week, they said the list of all the beneficiaries of the allowance have been sent to GIPS, and GIPS is undergoing a validation process, and hopefully by the end of this week, they will ensure that every student is paid his or her allowance of April, May, June. So it shows that unless after 3 months again, before July, August, September to be paid, because it's now on 3 month installment basis. But ideally, this is not what we expected. Allowance usually comes in a chain. When, let's say, you are to be paid through allowance, usually we take it through controller, but I realize the case is through Eastwich. And the amount too is not what usually
How much was it? How much are you taking now?
Allowance first was 560 Ghana cedis.
Mentally?
Yes, 560, but now it is 400 Ghana cedis that is being paid. And out of this 400 Ghana cedis, deductions are made and the student get 395 Ghana cedis every month.
But it was cancelled. Is it not better than nothing?
Yeah, we appreciate it. It is better than it not being paid. But the fact of the matter is that it comes with certain repercussions. Once it has been made clear to the entire populace that allowances are being paid, parents also withdraw the services they were to render to their wards. Because some parents are of the view that the students get the allowance and still call to say they are not receiving it. So on such grounds, parents refuse to give their students money, believing that you are receiving the money and pretending or telling lies. But here lies the case, these students are suffering.
The allowance is not coming.
It's not coming. Just imagine 6 months, they haven't received it. And last 2 months, they were on vacation. And as they came home, they had nothing to do to support parents, because 1 week after vacation, they are within the wards again, working morning, afternoon, and night duty. And when they still get to the facility, they are asked to buy and cotton wool and other logistics.
You mean when you go for practicals?
Yes, you buy
have to
glass.
use your money to buy your items to do practicals?
Yes.
It's not provided by the health institutions?
They would not allow you to go into the facility to start your clinicals without coming with a box of gloves, without cotton wool, without gauze. They will not permit you.
The allowance is there for such purpose, to help you?
The allowance is not there for such purpose, because the student nurse renders 40% healthcare delivery to Mother Ghana as part of healthcare delivery. Regular staff renders 60% healthcare delivery. This research was conducted by our mother union, GRNMA, and this was a grounds that we stood in to demand that we are even due employment and we are due allowance. This allowance shouldn't be tagged as a compensation or a favor, because when we go home, we spend all our time within the ward. There's nothing we can do to support parents, unlike a colleague from the university or polytechnic who, when he or she gets home, can do something to support.
During the holidays?
During the holidays. But the trainee nurse during holidays spend morning, afternoon, and even night at the ward, and prone to nosocomial infections, which regular staffs are prone to. We render healthcare delivery to clients just as the regular staff do. And out of the total healthcare delivery rendered in this country by the health team, trainee nurses render 40%. And with this 40% healthcare delivery, we are due to be given a remuneration to that effect, because you can't be working for the country for free as a regular staff. So once the person's services is at a percentage which is appreciable, there's the need government give a remuneration to that effect. This was a reason why we're telling the actual administration that scrapping the allowance was an unwise and an unfair decision being taken.
Wait, You say what?
It was unfair and unwise for such decision to be taken because the allowance given to the trainee nurses shouldn't be considered as a favor. They are working for it. And also, allowance shouldn't be a reason why you will not employ nurses to saying that you are giving you allowance so there's no money to employ. What is right must be done right.
Did the government tell you because of the allowances they don't have money to employ you now?
Oh, the deputy minister said they are squeezing water out of rocks to pay trainee allowance and to cater for free SHS.
So because of free SHS and your allowances, they don't have money to employ you?
The simple rationale here, or what I deduce out of the statement, is that squeezing water out of rock shows that you are doing everything possible to gather resources to undertake this particular work and services, or make these services available.
So hasn't the allowance been used to score political points then?
That is what I'm saying. What is right should be done right. And I wouldn't go and sit there and say that you are doing me a favor. You might achieve your political points, but that should be to the Ghanaian citizen who don't understand the ideal. I wouldn't see it to be a favor you giving to me. And if any government also fail to render such services, you are being unfair to the person, and the law of karma will surely take place. So we believe that what is rightly ours should be given to us.
So it is not a favor done to you when they give you the allowance?
Yes, we are due it. We work for it. We render 40% healthcare delivery to Mother Ghana during the clinical session. And we don't get time to do any other work to support our parents.
Okay.
So once we work for it, such remuneration should be given to us.
Your
so
point is well
nobody
made.
should target us a favor.
All right.
We are due it.
How expensive is it to be trained as a nurse?
Well, thank you very much. It is very expensive. You see, many of our people went in for loan just to pay for our school fees, for us to be trained to become a nurse and to render a quality service. So as it stands right now, it is not easy at all. If you choose the nursing profession, just know that if you don't have the money, then don't get in there.
That is why the government is giving allowance to complement.
Yes, but the allowance is not coming. So how then do you get the money to pay the school fees?
But the government says they are paying the allowance.
They are not paying. They are just. I think it is. They are not being realistic to Ghanaians. I have to say that because 6 months down the line, you have not paid, and you are equally making it known to Ghanaians that you have paid. Meanwhile, it is not true. You can do your checkups within the nursing training institutions. They will tell you the students are seriously crying for help. And almost all the time, you see, they will be granting an interviews within the radio stations, pleading the government to come to their aid by paying their allowances so that at least they will pay their school fees. So it's a very worrying situation at hand, and that needs to be solved within a shortest possible
Should
time.
allowance be the basis for going to the nursing training? Without the allowance, can't people afford training again?
Well, people can afford it, but I think from the onset of the training, it was made known. And then this is not the first time, not even the second time. They started it from the beginning, and then they are paying allowances day in, day out. You understand? Those who were trained previously have been paid. Even those who are currently going under training are equally receiving. But because this government have failed to pay on time, then they are not getting it, and it's a worry, just as I indicated.
It's a worry. Now let's come back to NAPCO. The government has tried to recruit some of your members under this scheme, this policy. Why are you against it?
Thank you very much. On the issue of Nation Builders Core Policy, NAPCO, which we have been put under the Hill Ghana model, as leadership from the beginning of our dialogue, nothing of that sort was brought to our attention that we are going to be engaged at such level. What we're duly informed is our permanent employment. And if you look at our sector of recruitment, we have our own scope or what? Understanding when you come to engaging nurses. We are nurses. We are not different from other people, or we are not saying we are special, but we are in a sector that is very, very relevant. And we are people who have undergone training and acquired skills to come and render healthcare to citizens. We have not gone to acquire knowledge, but skills. This should be the difference. Someone who has gone to university to offer any social science program, the person have gone to acquire knowledge and not skills. But we have gone to acquire skills to render or to take care of citizens in terms of health sector wise. And we undergo training. Training is different from any tertiary institution. And we just oppose ourselves to the teacher trainees, just oppose ourselves to the military and the police. When the police come out of training, they are employed immediately. When teachers come out, they are employed. And if you look at the Nation Builders Corps policy, there was nothing like Secure Ghana, but we have security issues in the country. Why didn't they send soldiers or police and the Nation Builders Corps if actually want to secure Ghana? We have Educate Ghana. They didn't put the teacher trainee graduates under the Educate Ghana. But teacher trainees are being given their normal recruitment. As I said, we finished 2016 with teachers, they employed them. 2017, we said the juniors of teacher training completed, they employed them. 2018, their juniors have completed again, and they'll be employed. Whilst it becomes a challenge to employ nurses, but rather sending us to NAPCO. So if you look at our mode of recruitment, and looking at the 1992 Constitution, it is even unconstitutional to employ us under Nation Builders Corps, because if you look at Article 24, Clause 1, it states that every citizen have the right to work under safe, satisfactory work conditions, and to be paid equal salary for equal job done, and not to be given any amount less than that. Now, why we are saying it's unconstitutional is based on the fact that I have a certificate as a diploma nurse or a certificate nurse, and the one at the facility currently have the same certificate. We have the same pay, we renew at the same amount. If I am being enrolled under Hill Ghana model, we are going for the same 9 duty. It is the same job description. You pay me 570 Ghana cedis and 750 Ghana cedis, and you pay the other person 1,600 Ghana cedis. When we are doing the same job, it is contradicting with what the clause I stated, Article 24, Clause 1. Notwithstanding that, being under the Nation Builders Corps policy, we are not entitled to joining any labor union because there is no deductions that will go through the labor union. You'll be paid through ISWICH, not through controller, and automatically the labor union we have is GRNMA. And within the health sector, we have medical legal issues. Medical legal issues here in the sense that someone under Educate Ghana might not have any medical legal issues. But if I'm to administer injection on you, then let's say I give you an injection on your gluteal and you happen to develop an abscess. It will be an act of what? Malpractice on my side. And if I'm being taken upon and this become a court case, once I am not contributing to any labor union, it is going to be my own headache. So here lies the case. I'm trying to heal Ghana at my own expense. Why can't you pay us through controller the normal amount for it to be deducted? So that if I have a problem, I have someone who will help. There will be disunity within the nursing fraternity. Here lies the case that we are the work side. I am doing the same work with you. I'm paid less. Obviously, the love for the job wouldn't be there. Notwithstanding that, we are bonded people in the system. And with the bond we have, the bond is you are to serve the government for 5 good years before you are entitled to further your training or leave the country. Now, working under NAPCO for 3 good years, the bond wouldn't reflect until I am employed one day before my bond will begin working.
It's not just a temporary measure the government wants to
That is what I'm saying here.
They just want to temporarily give you something before.
You see, the government stated that NAPCO is a stopgap measure so that we wouldn't sit idling at home. I asked, where is the policy document? There is no policy document for Nation Builders Corps, and this policy is not far different from youth employment that was given to what? Other citizens in this country. We can all recall ex-Wal administration, Kufuor time. He came with these Zoom nurses and all those stuff. It was a contract given to them without the timeline being clearly stated. And when the late President Atamios came in and paid the contract policies, they were laid off. It was tagged to be that NDC government was being wicked. But here lies the case that the assignment was not critically done by those who went into the policy by asking, is this actually a short time frame issue or has it got a deadline? So if you tell me that Nation Builders Corps is a 3-year contract and I want the policy document, you can't bring the policy document. Where will lie my faith if tomorrow, after the 3 years, you still push me to continue? Because once we are going to be under it for 3 years, nobody will be employed. And once the backlog keep coming, 26,000, 18,000, 17,000, which government will be able to employ? If you have come to meet 26,000 and you can engage them, which government will come and see 60,000 and engage them? Obviously, after 3 years, our juniors will come out and still meet us on contract basis, and the backlog will be unbearable.
So you are against the Nation Builders Corps for nurses?
We are against, we appreciate Nation Builders Corps in general. because we are not the only beneficiaries, but we are not in support of Heal Ghana model.
So you guys have not registered?
We have not registered for Heal Ghana model.
No nurse has registered for the Nation Builders Corps, another model.
Heal Ghana model, if nurses have applied for, are just a few. And those we know who applied for are the 2017 NAC and NAP. And as at the time they applied for the Nation and the Heal Ghana model, their pins were not ready. Their certificates were not ready. And per the standards or requirement, you need to have a pin to enter into the portal for you to be registered. You need to have a certificate as a certificate nurse once you didn't do national service. Here lies the case, someone will enter the index number where the pin is expected and the system accepts it. This makes me to say that it's a bogus initiative.
Wait,
because
the Nation Builders Corps,
the Heal Ghana model
is a bogus initiative?
Based on the fact that certain assignments are not done well.
Are you saying?
I'm saying this on the Heal Ghana model because
it is a bogus policy.
Yes, with all due respect, because seriousness have not been attacked to implement the policy very well. Based on the fact that if you are saying index pin, with a pin, it is made up of what? Alphabets and what? Numbers. But here lies the case, someone goes to mention and just write 6455, it picks as the pin. This shows that if the assignment was critically done, such a thing should be rejected. Why is it that someone's certificate is not given and you give the person what? And you enroll the person to go for interview? Are you with me? Secondly, people didn't go for interview, but they have been given messages for appointments.
Do you have proof?
I have proofs. It's unfortunate. I don't have.
Can you mention
any
one person
here.
you know who has gotten an appointment under the NAPCO Heal Ghana without?
There are a
going
lot. The 2017 graduates, those who applied, some personally called me and told me that they applied and they didn't use their PIN. They used their index number and the system accepted. When they heard that their seniors clearance will come in July and the NAPCO, the Heal Ghana interview was in August, they said if only clearance will come, then there's no need to go for interview. Some of the 2016 graduates who knew that their clearance would have come in July, as the minister stated, they refused to go for the interview because if I know my clearance will come in July, why should I go for interview in August? They obviously refused, but they have been given messages for appointment. This makes me to say that... Are
you saying this for a fact?
I'm saying it for a fact. And after this, I will get the messages and give you. If you play, you can now send the messages across, then you see. These are the messages that have been sent to my people who didn't go for interview. They didn't even book for interview, but they gave their appointments.
And the Nation Builders Corps.
And the Heal Ghana model of Nation Builders Corps policy.
Are you not being pushed by any political party?
You see, for me, I am a young man who is still growing. And if I am making my statements, I make them with facts. I am of the view that I am the only person who can fight for my own welfare or my liberation. And to base on political grounds, I am not ready for that. I am speaking as a leader for unemployed nurses and midwives, and a leader for trainee nurses and midwives. And per the standards of our association or constitution, JIMTA is non-partisan or political.
Thank you.
And for that matter, I am speaking as a neutral person. If NDC is wrong, I tell you are wrong. If NPP is wrong, you say, I'll tell you. If you do something good, I'll laud you.
Thank you. Look into that camera and reassure Ghanaians that if the demonstration doesn't yield results, the 1 million march, you will be able to organize it. And I'll be here to bring you back to this studio if you're able to do that.
Thank you very much. As the leader of Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association, as part of our press statement issued to the President of the Republic and the general public, we stated that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is a man of his word. We believe in his competency, and for that matter, we don't want that as our petition and press statement has gotten to the attention of His Excellency, he will sit idle and allow us to go the extra mile in quest for our employment. But should the unfortunate happen, where His Excellency hears us on numerous grounds that we have been beaten at the Ministry of Health by police, and still he sees it not to be necessary or important to work around the clock to get us employed immediately. And we happen to go beyond this timeline of demonstrating. After this demonstration, we are going to have 1 million walk through the principal streets of Accra, and we end at the Jubilee House. If we don't meet the president, we are not turning back, and we mean our worst. It is time, we believe, if we are being killed as part of our pursuit or quest to serve Mother Ghana, it will be so, and the world will see it. And one day, we will all look back to the statement made by the late Kofi Annan that every nation which does not what? Prioritize or utilize its youth becomes a nation or a society that is what? Not having vision.
Thank you.
The time will come.
The time will come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Viewer, that is all time will allow us today. We wish we had time to delve more into today's issue. They gave us a lot of revelations. They said the allowances are not coming, the nation builder score is bogus according to the president, and so many other things. I had here today in the studio the Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association's national president, Batia Semi Ula Santi, and the deputy organizer, Coalition of 2016 Unemployed Public Nurses and Midwives, Bilekmia Moses Liman. They were my guests today on the SRC. If you want to sponsor this program, please contact us on the number displayed on the screen or 0242-368295. My name is Gershon Inchere. I want to say thank you for making time with us. Join us next